There's something about ancient Egypt, right? For thousands of years, it's just completely captured our imaginations. You think of these golden pharaohs, these incredible monuments, these silent tombs, and it feels like they're holding on to secrets that are just waiting to be discovered. So today, we're going to pull back the sands of time and take a look at some of the biggest mysteries from this amazing lost world.
And this really is the heart of it all. How did they do it? How did a civilization, working with tools that we would consider pretty basic, manage to create something so massive, so permanent, that here we are, thousands of years later, still trying to figure it all out? That's the puzzle we're going to try to piece together.
So where do we even begin? Well, you've got to start with the big one, the most iconic structure on the planet, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's this masterpiece of engineering that has just stumped historians and builders for centuries. It's a true wonder that, honestly, feels almost impossible.
Okay, try to wrap your head around this. The Great Pyramid was built with an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks. I mean, just think about that. It's not just the number, it's the sheer organization that it would take. You'd have to mobilize an entire civilization to cut, move, and perfectly place these things. And we're not talking about little bricks here. Some of the granite blocks weighed up to 80 tons. That's like a dozen elephants for a single block.
So how in the world did they pull it off? Well, the leading theory points to some absolutely breathtaking human ingenuity. First, they'd quarry these massive blocks using pretty simple copper chisels and wooden wedges. Then, they'd haul them, probably on these huge wooden sleds. And get this, they'd wet the sand in front to make them slide easier. And finally, to get them way up high, they almost certainly built these huge ramps that would either go straight up or maybe even spiral around the pyramid. It wasn't magic, it was math, incredible organization, and a ton of human effort. But building these monuments is really only half the story. To truly get what the Egyptians were all about, we had to be able to read what they left behind. And for centuries, their beautiful, complex writing was just silent pictures on a wall.
We're talking about hieroglyphs, of course. Now, this wasn't a simple ABC alphabet. It was this incredibly complex mix of symbols where one picture could be a whole word, another could be a syllable, and another could just be a single sound. Imagine trying to learn a language like that with no dictionary, no key whatsoever. It's no wonder that for about 1,400 years, their stories were completely lost to us.
Then, in 1799, everything changed. Enter the Rosetta Stone. This thing was the ultimate key. As you can see, it had the exact same message written in 3 different scripts. At the top, you've got the fancy hieroglyphs, the sacred stuff for monuments. In the middle, there's Demotic, which was kind of the everyday common person's script. And at the bottom, the jackpot, ancient Greek, a language that scholars at the time already knew how to read. This was the cheat sheet they'd been dreaming of. By comparing the known Greek to the unknown Egyptian, they could finally start to crack the code.
So now that we could finally read their words, we unlocked one of their deepest, most powerful obsessions, the afterlife. For the ancient Egyptians, you see, death wasn't the end. It was just a doorway to an eternal journey, and their tombs were the launch pads.
And right at the center of this belief was mummification. This wasn't just some creepy process. It was a deeply sacred ritual. The whole point was to preserve the body perfectly so the soul could find its way back. It took 70 days. Priests would carefully remove the organs, dry out the body with a special salt, and then wrap it in hundreds of yards of linen. They believed this was absolutely essential for the person to be reborn in the afterlife.
And of course, you can't talk about tombs without talking about the legends, right? When Howard Carter found Tutankhamun's nearly perfect tomb in 1922, the world went crazy, not just for the treasure, but for all the spooky stories about a pharaoh's curse. This quote right here, while it wasn't actually found in Tut's tomb, it perfectly captures that whole chilling myth.
But was it a real supernatural curse? I mean, the stories were sensational, for sure, but science might have another explanation. Think about it. When you seal a tomb for over 3,000 years, it can become the perfect petri dish for some nasty ancient germs. Modern analysis suggests that toxic molds could have been lying dormant in there, and when the tomb was opened, poof, those spores get released. So the curse might have just been an ancient and totally accidental form of biological warfare.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't end in the past. The age of discovery in Egypt is far from over. Actually, we're in a brand new golden age, and we're using technology the original builders could never have dreamed of.
So instead of digging and possibly destroying priceless history, scientists are now using these incredible non-invasive tools. We're talking ground-penetrating radar and something called cosmic ray meography. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But basically, they use these tiny particles that rain down from space to scan these massive structures, letting us see what's inside the stone without ever laying a hand on it.
And this crazy tech is already getting incredible results. Just a few years ago, one of these scans revealed something mind-blowing: a massive, totally unknown void deep inside the Great Pyramid. It's almost as long as a football field, and for thousands of years, nobody knew it was there. We still don't know what it is. Is it a hidden chamber? A clever engineering trick to relieve weight? It's a brand new mystery, which just proves the pyramids are not done with their secrets.
And with every mystery, old or new, you're gonna get speculation. The incredible perfection and just the sheer scale of these monuments have led some people to ask a pretty wild question. Could the ancient Egyptians really have done all of this by themselves?
This leads us to two big competing ideas. On one hand, you have the overwhelming archaeological evidence for human ingenuity. I mean, we've found the villages where the workers lived, we found their tools, we've even found journals on papyrus that detail the logistics of moving stone. It all points to a highly organized, brilliant society. But on the other hand, you have theories that point to the pyramids' insane mathematical precision, their perfect alignment with the stars, and they ask, was that really possible with ancient tools? Or did they have some kind of outside help? Maybe extraterrestrial help?
And that's really where we'll leave it. From impossible engineering and codes cracked by a single stone, to ancient curses and modern cosmic rays, the story of Egypt is just this incredible, enduring mystery. The biggest secret of all might just be how much more is still buried out there, waiting to be found. The only question is, what are we going to uncover next?